Hello beautiful glam girls, welcome back to another video. So today we have the more professional setup. I got my ring light, I'm in front of a window, it's sunny today. I did my hair, I'm trying to be cute or whatever. Look at that shine. Oh yes. Anyway, so today I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to get more into makeup. Forgive my face, I know I look busted. I went to sleep late and I'm swollen, I'm tired, I'm going through it right now, but I have a fun video for you guys today. So yesterday I went to Sephora. I picked up some new trendy makeup that I thought would be fun to talk about. I also have some PR makeup here as well, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of both, kind of give you guys a haul as well as tell you the products that I would like, that I wouldn't buy, that I would buy. Obviously I did buy some. And then also, I thought to make it more interesting while I'm doing my makeup, to do a story time video. So let me know if you guys like this setup. I'm thinking about doing more makeup story time videos, like talking as I'm doing my makeup. I'm not really good at it, but I feel like maybe today I might be able to do it. Well, you know what? We're gonna find out. Clearly, if you're watching it, it was good enough. Look at this hair though, it's so shiny. I haven't straightened my hair in so long, so I'm like, ew. Do I need a theme song, guys? Like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabriella Lascano. And yeah, what would it be? Like, Gabriella, glamour, 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 glamour. That be my theme song? I don't know. Anyway, if you're new, please subscribe. I do fashion videos, home decor, cooking, makeup, everything, and I'm gonna start doing more makeup tutorials again, more beauty reviews, PR haul, makeup video slash story time. I do have notes on my phone so I can remember the story, because this was a few years ago. So yeah, if I look down on my phone, it's because I literally have like an essay of what happened, because I don't have a good memory. Okay. Also, this is my dog Kal-El. He is 5 months old. Come here, baby. Say hi. So he's just hanging out with me here. He's on the bed. So my skin is already moisturized. The moisturizer I've been using consistently lately that I'm really loving right now is the Gabriellaglamour Moisture Trip. It feels instantly smoother and glowy and just like really nice and refreshed and moisturized with this. So also, if you hear any noise, welcome to my life. That's my neighbors, and that's what we're gonna talk about. Actually, the neighbors we're gonna talk about are not them. But they're still here, and I'll tell you how. So let's just get into it. So for primer, I have some options here. I have the Gabriellaglamour Super Mattify 6 Acid Clarifying Primer. So it's like a balm primer that's supposed to actually help clear up your skin, which I need. And then I also have the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating. So I think I'm gonna use both. So the Hydrating Pro, oh my god, this primer is really gummy. Like, did you see that? Of course, when I start filming, everyone starts making a bunch of noise. Awesome. It definitely feels very moisturizing, but it doesn't leave your skin feeling oily. Also, the window's open, I'm sorry. I do want to get a microphone, so let me know if you guys would like me to get a microphone to kind of help the audio and just help it be clearer, or want to step my game up. So let me know if I should get a mic to improve the quality of my audio. For foundation, we have the new CoverGirl Clean Fresh. So I haven't used these yet. I did show you guys this on Instagram. This is the PR package. Look how pretty these are. Everything is pink. So it's a whole new line of products, and these are infused with coconut milk and aloe. Healthy natural skin, all day hydration. The packaging that they sent is 100% recyclable. Everything is formulated vegan, without parabens, without talc, without formaldehyde, phthalates, mineral oil, sulfates, or fragrance. So really clean beauty. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to talk about clean products, so here's one right here. So the story begins November 2016, right? So we have been living here a couple years already. We've lived in this apartment, I want to say like 5-6 years now. It's been a while. So we were living here, everything was fine. The neighbors downstairs were loud. Like, they would play really loud music sometimes, but they were downstairs, so whatever. But it was the neighbors upstairs that were a problem. it's so hard to do this. Like, I don't know how people talk and do their makeup at the same time. All right, I'm not actually sure what color I am in the CoverGirl foundation, so I'm just trying on my hand to see which ones I want to use. So yeah, so these people moved in November 2016. We lived here already for a couple years, and everything was okay. Like, living here at first, everything was all right. You know, I wasn't like, my god, I'm having the best time ever, but I don't know if you guys can see that, but I feel like there's like this graininess in the foundation. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be. All right, I'm mixing together 550 light medium and 560 medium. I think I'm more 560 though. For actually applying my foundation, I have these new sponges here from ColourPop. These are the Full Beat blending sponges. So, oh my god, look how pretty these are. Super like Easter egg vibes. So pretty. Look how pretty they are. I don't even want to freaking use them. I mean, is that not so cute? So we have a silicone one, a complexion one, an hourglass, detail, and velvet. Oh, there's different. They really do feel different. This one is so weird. This is a velvet sponge. It says it's a reusable microfiber sponge with a unique flocked velvet texture that creates a flawless airbrush look. It's velvet. I've never felt a sponge like that. Part of me kind of wants to use the velvet, but I don't want to dirty it. It's so pretty. Right off the bat, it seems like it has a little light to medium coverage, which I guess I expected, which is nice for the spring and summer. Yeah, so living here for the first couple years was fine. You know, when we first moved in here, I was happy. I was living my best life. We had a housewarming party. Everything was fine. We, you know, we were just living like normal people because we didn't think anything about, you know, noise or anything like that. I grew up in New York City, and I lived in apartments, or like apartments in houses, like my whole life. And I never dealt with a situation in a building where you had to be like super. So even though I grew up in buildings my whole life here in the city, I never grew up in a situation where you had to be really quiet because of noise, or you know, or you could hear everything all the time. So, you know, living in this apartment, I was just living my life as normal, living, you know, regular, whatever. So we had a housewarming party, and this foundation looks nice. It's just like a light coverage, so I'm just going in. I am using a lot though, so I don't know if it's, I feel like it's the sponge. Anyway, so we had the housewarming party, and you know, the people that lived below us at the time, they used to play music really, really, really loud, like ridiculously loud. And we didn't complain because they lived under us, and it wasn't like all the time, you know what I mean? So we didn't complain because we're not those kinds of people. So then when we had our housewarming party, the landlord came to our apartment like the next day, and he was like, people are complaining about you guys because you had a party and it was too loud, and you can't make noise like that, and we have quiet times here, and between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. you have to be quiet, so you can't be making all that noise or whatever. So, you know, I had just moved in here. I was like, oh, okay. They were complaining about the party, and then I guess they were also complaining that I was playing music, which I was playing music during the day. So like, I was like, okay. But now that I've lived here for so many years and I know how it is in here, I can understand, because you really can hear everything. Like, you can hear the baby crying next door. I can hear when someone's taking a shower. Like, you can hear everything. So now that I've lived here for a while, I'm like, okay, fine, like I get it. But at the time I was like, wow, like it's during the day, like I should be able to do whatever I want during the day. Fine, no big deal. So I stopped playing music, and little by little I start understanding, like, oh, okay, you really do have to be quiet in here. Like, people can hear every little thing. So then November 2016, the people upstairs, that they don't live there anymore, but they moved in. And I'm sorry I continue doing my foundation. I'm just trying to get a good blend and good coverage. So far I really like how it looks, and this color matches me really, really well. But I feel like I had to use so much, and I don't know if it's the sponge or not. I'm gonna go in with my Fenty, what is this? Oh no, this is the Sonia Kashuk foundation brush. I love using like stiff kabuki brushes like this. I'm gonna see if that makes a difference. That's a lot, that's like a whole pump's worth. I'm gonna see if that makes a difference in the coverage. Feels really lightweight on the skin too. Like it doesn't feel like I have like a heavy foundation on, even though I put on so much. So they move in, and like the first weekend they move in, they were so loud. It was unbelievable. Like we couldn't even sleep because these people were up at 11 o'clock at night moving in furniture and like putting together a bed, and it was so loud that we were like, oh my god, like I understand you're moving in, but do you understand how loud you have to be for someone to be like pissed off the moment you move in? You know what I mean? So they were super loud the moment they moved in, and we were like, okay, fine, like you're moving in. So it was so loud that we went to the super the next day, and we were like, yo, they're not letting us sleep. By the way, I used the color 560 medium. Really, really like this. It feels really lightweight on the skin. It feels really nice. Definitely like a medium coverage. I don't think you can get a super full coverage with this, but I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. Even with the couple breakouts I have right now, it definitely covered a lot. I might go in with a little more of a full coverage. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of my Morphe foundation just to give me a little more coverage right on the cheek area. So we told the super like, hey, we understand they're moving in right now, but it's so loud, like it's unbelievable. So he's like, oh, just give it like a week or so, you know, because they're moving in and they have furniture, you know, try to be understanding, whatever. We're like, okay, fine, no problem. After a month of them just making so much noise all the time, I got, you know, I finally got pissed off, and I went back to the super, and I'm like, listen, like this is ridiculous. They're making too much noise. It's not just, oh, we're moving in, like you guys have lived here a month now. It's ridiculous. So I tell him, there's kids up there, you know, running around at all times, making so much noise. Like it's unbelievable. Like it can't go on like this, because clearly this is how they are. You know what I mean? And I know that it seems like I jumped the gun complaining so quickly, but think about it. If they're being that loud so quickly, like into moving in, and it's been a month straight of them being that loud, like that's not, oh, they're moving in. Like that's how loud they are. Like that's them. You know what I mean? So so he tells me, oh no, they don't have kids, like it's just two older people up there, they don't have kids. So now he's making me feel crazy, and I don't like that shit. So I was like, I know what the hell kids sound like. Like don't tell me they don't have kids. You and I both know what it sounds like when kids are running around, when kids are screaming, when, you know, balls are being bounced on the floor, when kids are playing. Like you cannot tell me that I don't know what, you know, what kids sound like. At this point I'm getting a little bit annoyed, because I'm feeling like he's trying to like he's telling me low-key to just shut the heck up, because maybe he knows them, like maybe they're friendly. I don't know, because I got into this apartment because my mom's friend's father lived in here. So I'm thinking, well, maybe that's how they got in. Like maybe they know him, so he's trying to like cover up for them. And you know, maybe they, like, obviously they lied and said that they don't have kids when they freaking do. So then it's just like non-stop noise all the time. Like I'm so annoyed. I'm gonna do concealer. I have here the CoverGirl concealer as well as Becca. So I'm gonna go in with the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade M400. I'm gonna do well, not a little bit, but yeah. So basically at this point it's just me and the super going back and forth because he's trying to make me feel crazy. Like I don't know what the heck kids playing sounds like I'm stupid. And I don't like that shit. Like I'm here every single day. You know what I mean? I work from home. I have to listen to the noise every single day. I literally can hear the kids crying, screaming, playing, because when the window's open, you can hear everything. I know I'm hearing kids. Like, I'm not crazy. So to blend this, I think I'm going to use... Ooh, this one feels really soft. I think I'm going to use this one. This is the silicone sponge. I'm gonna wet it a little bit. Finally, like nothing's going on, like nobody's helping me. The super's acting dumb, like he don't know what's going on, like I'm crazy. So it's just to the point where I'm just pissed off and I have no other choice but to bang on the ceiling every time they're loud, because at this point now I gotta just do what I gotta do. Like, you know, the reason that I didn't go up there first like so quickly is because I can hear these people yelling, screaming. I can hear how they sound, and this might be, you know, controversial. It might be upsetting to some people, but I'm Latina. I'm from New York. I know how Latinos can be, and if you're Latino, you know how some Latinos are very like aggressive and crazy, and they just want to like fight, and they don't really like know how to talk, you know, in a nice way. Everything just becomes, you know, saying terrible things and yelling and screaming. And just hearing how they sound like through the walls and stuff, I was kind of low-key like not scared, but I just knew that they weren't gonna take nicely to me saying, hey, like, can you be quiet? And also the super, I think, had already tried to talk to them, and clearly they didn't care to like, you know, stop the noise because they were still doing it. So that's kind of why I didn't go up there at first. I was like, no, like let me just talk to the super, let me just try to deal with it in a different way before I actually have to confront somebody. But so then it got to the point where I banged on the ceiling, because I was like, okay, you know what, you guys don't want to fucking like listen to the super, you don't want to really try to change, you just want to do whatever you want and you want me to be quiet. So finally I bang on the ceiling, right? And they bang back, you guys. They literally bang back so hard, like you could tell they were retaliating. You could tell that they were pissed off that I was complaining. They were pissed off that I had the nerve to bang. So they banged back so hard that like my ceiling was like shaking, like my wine rack that's on my wall, my chandelier, like everything was like shaking. Like my chandelier, the top of it, the part that like is on the wall, was coming loose, and you can see like the electrical wires because they were banging so hard. And you could hear that it was like multiple people stomping like in retaliation. So, you know, that of course got me tight. Like I started getting pissed off because, you know, I'm trying to lightly let them know in a nice way through the super, through like tapping on the ceiling, like you guys are being too loud. So at this point, this happens a few times, we're like banging back and forth or whatever. You know, this happens a few times where they bang, I bang back. You know, I started like playing loud music to like drown them out. Like I started making my own noise to try to drown them out. But I'm not a loud, obnoxious person. Like making a lot of noise is not fun to me. Like that shit bothers me. I don't like noise. I'm very sensitive to noise. I don't like making noise. So for me, it was really frustrating to be in a situation where I felt like I had to make noise. And mind you, this is every single day, like all the time that they were making this noise. Literally. Now the neighbor next door is making noise because, of course, as I complain about noise, somebody has to be loud. I guess that just proves my point, how annoying everybody in this freaking building is. If that doesn't prove my point, what will? So finally, you know, I'm like, okay, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, I can't keep just going back and forth with these people, retaliating. Like, they bang, I bang, we're just banging back and forth. Like, that's not fun. Like, it's stressing me out. It's really killing me. So finally I tell my husband, I'm like, yo, just go up there and talk to these people, because if I go up there, I know I'm gonna fight. Because my husband can keep his calm when people are bugging out. Me, I get ghetto real fast, okay? Like, I grew up in the South Bronx. I will get ghetto on you the moment you have an attitude with me. Like, it's a wrap. So I told my husband to go up there. So he goes up there, and at first they're like, oh no, papi, like, sorry, we're cleaning or whatever. Mind you, at this point, it's like, we already know that there's an issue between us. Like, I don't know why you're acting brand new as if there's not an issue between us. So, all right, so for eyeshadow, I have the Nude Medium Huda Beauty palette. These are like those little 9-pan palettes. So I wanted to get one that kind of, I knew I would use more than like one of the colorful ones. So this is what it looks like. Really pretty packaging. It has like a faux croc packaging. And obviously you guys know these are my tones. I really liked the colors. We have some like rose gold burgundy kind of foiled shades, as well as some more brown copper shades. These are really great palettes for travel, and just in general. I feel like this is more of the kind of palette I'm into rather than like bigger palettes right now. So I got that to use with this palette, which is the star of the show. This is a Wired palette by Urban Decay. So, you know, I'm not huge into color, but I wanted to try something different. So packaging was pretty. I thought it'd be fun to do something for spring. Separated the pigments according to what you can use on your body and your eyes. I'm using some ColourPop brushes. I'm just gonna start by creating kind of like crease colors. I don't think these have like actual shades, so I'm just taking this color that's in the top left corner. It's like the most basic kind of neutral, more, well, it's like a warm medium brown. I'm gonna just start creating like a crease situation. Oh, this is really pigmented. Clean brush and kind of blend that out. So yeah, so they're like, oh papi, we're cleaning and blah blah blah, like, sorry. So is this guy up there, and there's women in the apartment, but the guy like answered the door. So I'm like, okay, so they're just cleaning and suddenly now they want to act nice, when in reality we already know that these are people who will retaliate, who will bang on the floor in response to me banging on the ceiling. I'm like, fine, whatever, let's pretend that everything is gonna be nice. Again, the noise keeps going, like they keep doing the most, they keep making all this noise, whatever. So then finally I was like, okay, like by this point it's been a while, like it's really getting annoying. They're doing so much. Like, this is like months and months of me like crying, and my anxiety is going crazy because they're making so much noise. They're waking me up in the middle of the night. They're waking me up at night. They're waking me up early in the morning. These people like didn't even sleep. It literally was like noise until 3 in the morning. They used to play music every single holiday. They would play music till 6 in the morning. Like, it was ridiculous. When I'm telling you it's ridiculous, I know it doesn't sound like I'm making a big deal of it now because it was so long ago, and also I'm doing my makeup, so I'm kind of distracted. But it was very, very bad. Like, they were playing music until 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, every single holiday. Like, you did not want to be here on New Year's Eve. You did not want to be here on Christmas because you already knew, like, okay, you weren't sleeping. And I don't know why, I just felt like I was the only one who cared. Like, nobody else cared. I don't know if I was the only one complaining or what. When I talked to the other neighbors, like on my floor or in the building, like they were also like annoyed by it, you know? So I don't know why it never went further with people complaining. But I was calling 311. Like, I talked to the landlord, I talked to the super. Like, it got to the point where I was so frustrated. So finally I went up there. And mind you, at this point I had called like the cops, I had called 311, all that kind of stuff, and they told me basically like there was nothing they could do, or they would say like, oh, someone's coming, and then no one ever came. So I did try, you know, like I did try to use whatever I could, but nobody ever came. Like 311 would say, oh, we came, but nobody was home. And I'm like, bro, I work from home, I'm here every day, like how are you gonna say nobody was home? So they never came, nobody cared. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I guess I gotta go crazy. So I finally went up there, and the reason I went up there is because one day where they were making so much noise, it was probably like the loudest they had ever been. And I was like, oh no, like I'm not dealing with this today. So I banged up there so hard that I hurt my hand, right? I think I broke my broom because I banged so hard, and they banged back so hard. It was the loudest banging I think I've ever heard in my life. It was ridiculous. So finally I was like, you know what, you're not doing this with me anymore. Like we're not doing this. I got so pissed off, I ran upstairs. At this point I was like blacked out rage. I banged on their door so hard that the numbers on their door fell off the door. Like I hurt myself banging on the door so hard, because at this point I was ready to fight. Like they got me to a point that I don't think I've ever been. Like that was probably the angriest I've been in a long time, and I have never been that angry since, because I don't let people have that power over me anymore. But at the time I was just so pissed off. So I went up there, I banged, and I was just screaming. Like I'm ready to go. Like I'm ready to fight. I don't even care anymore. Like let's do this. Because at this point I felt like I had nothing to lose. Like I was so frustrated. You see that sign right there? That looks random, right? You know why that's there? Because there's a hole in my wall. I'm covering the hole I made. Because one night I was so tired and so angry that I had to be woken up by these people that I punched a hole in my own wall. Like that's how angry I was. So finally I went up there, I'm banging, and at this point they know like it's gonna go down. Like I'm pissed off, like it's a wrap, I'm screaming, and they're like not answering the door. And that was another thing that I didn't mention, is that at this point, like, okay, I kind of fast forward in the story, but my husband had gone up there a few times after the first time to kind of ask them to be quiet. And like I said, the first time they were like, oh puppy, sorry, we're cleaning, whatever. The next couple times he went up there, they like cursed him out. I don't know how I forgot to mention this. They cursed him out. They literally were like calling him Diablo, Abusador, like, and they would kick the door on their side to kind of like, I guess, to intimidate him from the outside. And that's like another main reason why I didn't go up there after he went up there a few times, because I was like, oh, they're like really asking for a fight, because how dare you bang on your side of the door to try to like intimidate us from the outside. You're not even freaking courageous enough to confront, like come to the door and be confronted for your shit, right? So I didn't even mention that part, but you know, he did go up there a few times before I went up there, and so by the time I went up there pissed off, I already had that in the back of my mind that they, you know, had done all these terrible things and said all these terrible things to my husband. And you know, what's really crazy is like in the hallway, when they saw him, they would act nice. They would act nice. And it was like the creepiest thing. You know, my husband's not a confrontational person. I'm more of the person that would have an attitude. So he would kind of just give them whatever they gave him. So if they said, you know, hi or whatever, he would say hi. And it was very weird. Like some days she would say hi to him or say hi to me, but by the time it got to this point, if we did see each other in the hallway, it was definitely more of like a grilling situation. Like we were grilling each other, and it was not a nice situation. So By the time I went up there, I'm pissed off. I'm ready to fight. I'm breaking doors. And they're banging on their side of the door, telling me that they're going to call the cops, telling me to leave, calling me all these like names and cursing me out in Spanish. And I was ready. I was like, call the fucking cops. Like, I was, you know, in Spanish, I was saying like, they were like, abusadora, da 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 da. I was like, yo soy la abusadora. How am I? You're the one that won't let me sleep. I was going off in Spanish. I was like, yo no puedo ni dormir, y da 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 da. Like, I don't, like, guys, I was so pissed off. I don't even remember what I was saying. I just remember like cursing back at them in Spanish and banging on the door and just screaming at them in the hallway like, come out, like, come out. You're so tough, but now that I'm here at the door, y'all got nothing to say. I was like, let's fight. Like, I know that I shouldn't, you know, be promoting fighting, but I was really at the point where I was ready to fight. Like, I was ready to fight someone. I was like, you know what? That's it. Like, it's happening. Like, they finally pushed it to this point. And, you know, like I said, I had tried reaching out to 311. I had tried calling the cops before. At one point, I called the cops and I told them, I said, listen, you know, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And they told me, oh, well, are they like attacking you? Are you like in immediate danger? And I was like, I'm like, no, they're in their apartment. Like, they're not attacking me or anything. So they were like, oh, well, there's nothing that we can do. So I told the lady on the phone, this is me calling the cops, I'm like, so basically there's nothing you can do unless I actually go over there and beat someone's ass. So if someone actually got hurt, then it would be a reason for the cops to come. But I'm calling you like begging for help because they're making so much noise. I can't even live. I'm literally crying and you're telling me there's nothing you can do. I'm going back in with that crease shade. So that's why at this point I was just ready to like fight, because I felt so alone and hopeless and powerless in my situation that I was like, you know what? This is what they want. I felt so powerless at this point. I'm like, okay, so clearly nobody cares. Like, I pretty much have to just deal with this on my own, because nobody cares unless there was an actual fight or for someone to get arrested. The cops don't care. Like, they don't care anymore. And they told me like, you can't call us for noise complaints anymore. You can't call us for this stuff anymore. And I was just like, oh, cool, awesome. So I do have to deal with it by myself. So I go up there, I'm going crazy, whatever. Nobody ever comes out of the apartment. They're screaming at me from inside of the apartment, but nobody ever came out to confront me. I'm like, you guys are so tough when you're in your apartment, banging on the ceiling, going crazy. But now that I come up here to talk to you, nobody comes out. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, how freaking cowardly can you be? So because I went up there going crazy, guess what happened? They called the cops. So they called the cops, and I kid you not, they must have like some secret connection or something. I think I'm gonna go in with Gravity, which is like the dark purple, and see if that'll help me kind of blend. Ooh, I'm kind of vibing with that. Ooh. Ooh. They call the cops on us, right? How funny is that? They call the cops on us. And the cops show up, and it kills me because I'm like, oh, so all the times that I've called the cops, nobody shows up, but because they call the cops, people show up. And what pisses me off is like, these are people that are like in their 50s and 60s, okay? These are not like super old, incapacitated people, you know, oh, woe is them, like they can't do anything. Granted, there are people who are in their 60s who are, you know, not able to do certain things, and you know, maybe they have some type of issues physically or whatever that they can't do certain things. But these are people who aren't incapacitated people. Like, they're able to walk around, they're able to do stuff. These are people who aren't, you know, sick, like that they can't walk and do stuff themselves, you know what I mean? Like, they're playing it up for the cops that they're like old and fragile. I'm hearing the noise they're making, I'm hearing them screaming, I'm hearing everything they do. Like, you're not fragile. Like, I can hear you yelling, so clearly you're not a fragile person. But of course they probably played it up for the cops, because guess what? A bunch of freaking cops come. Literally, there was like 12 cops at my door, right? I'm using the color Shock to blend the purple up into the brow bone, and it actually looks really nice, especially with that neutral kind of background color we had going on. I'm like, oh, it's funny that you guys came when they called. Do they have some like connection? And I said this to the cops. It was a female cop, and she was talking ghetto and like manly to me, and I'm like, sis, you're a woman, like don't talk to me like that. Like that really upset me that she was trying to like intimidate me. And anytime cops try that shit with me, I always let them know I have a degree from John Jay, and if you are in New York City, John Jay is a college that like a lot of people who are going to be lawyers and cops go to. So, you know, cops know that if you went to John Jay, you're not stupid, like you are educated, you know stuff, you know what I mean? So they kind of were like, oh, you know, it kind of backs people up a little bit to you. So I let them know, like, I have a degree from, you know, John Jay. I know my rights, and you know, you're not gonna come in here and try to intimidate me. But I find it funny that they call and suddenly so many cops are here, but when I call, there's no one. So apparently they had gone upstairs first, and then they came to me. So they were like, she was like, oh well, she's just a little old woman, and they say that they're just sitting up there watching TV and just hanging out, and you're banging and harassing them and blah blah. And I'm like, I put some glitter on top. I think it looks really cool. Sorry, I should have zoomed in sooner, but I put some glitter. This is the Max Reflex Pearl. So I'm like, I just find it funny that the moment they call, all these cops show up, but when I call, nobody showed up. So she's like, oh well, they're just sitting around and they're saying that you're harassing them, and it's just a little old lady up there, and there's no kids and blah blah blah. You know why there was no kids? Because the moment they called the cops, they sent everyone downstairs. Because get the kicker here, they had 2 apartments in this building. They had the upstairs apartment for me and a first floor apartment where the woman who lived upstairs, I think her son lived. So my guess was that her son and his wife lived downstairs with the kids, but the grandparents lived upstairs and basically took care of the kids all day. So I had to go feed my dog, but all I did was a little concealer around my brows and some brow gel. That's all I did while I was gone. So I think I'm pretty happy with the eye look. Take a little bit more of that light purple, very lightly, because I don't want to lose the darker purple. Maybe a little more of the purple. It's actually showing up brighter in real life than it is on camera. I'm just gonna blow out this like inner corner on the bottom. So yeah, all the cops were at my door, and they were like lined up in the hallway outside of my door, and I was literally crying, okay? Crying. And some of these cops were laughing. Like, they were laughing at me crying. And, you know, my husband's black, so our first thing was we were, like, super scared. And the fact that they were crying was just so hurtful. I mean, the fact that they were laughing while I was crying was so hurtful, and it was so scary, you know, that they literally showed up with all these cops, and all I could think was, this lady that called the cops probably said something about, oh, this big black man is you know, intimidating us, and we're scared. And I was just, I wet the brush, by the way, because this color Current is a foil like satin consistency or formula, so it can be wet, whereas the other ones are matte. So, you know, I was just like, I was just really upset, and I was really hurt. Like, wow, these people really like stooped so low. Because I'm thinking, why else would the cops have shown up like that with all those cops for one apartment situation? Mind you, all the times I called, they were like, oh, we can't come for that. So I was kind of like, I was just so pissed off. So the cop is like, well, they pay rent, so you know, what are they supposed to do? Not make noise and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, I pay rent too. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Just act like the noise isn't happening? They're literally ruining my life. Like, I'm, you know, making holes in my wall. Like, I can't sleep. Like, what am I supposed to do? I was so scared because there was literally like 8 to 12 cops like in my hallway, and I was terrified, you know. Like, I'm crying, and I just will never forget the faces of the cops that were laughing at us and like looking into my apartment and just like scaring the crap out of us, you know what I mean? Like, my husband's black, so now he has to stay quiet and I have to be the one to say something. And I'm just like, wow, these people must have said something really terrible, because why would all these cops show up? You know what I mean? Like, that's all I could think. So I will never forget like the fear and how my husband was just so like, we were just both shook. Like, we were just shocked, and it was just really messed up because we were the ones suffering, but these people really were just like playing the system out. So I don't remember exactly how, but the way this all ended was that I think after this I called the cops again or something, and I made like a really big deal. I made the cops come, and this time I did it without like the people downstairs knowing, because the last few times that we had gotten into it or whatever, like, they knew that I was pissed off. They knew they knew that I was gonna call the cops because I like banged on the ceiling or whatever. So the next time that they made a lot of noise, I didn't bang, I didn't complain, I didn't do anything. I called the cops unannounced, surprised. I'm using ColourPop the coconut bronzer. This is Talk to the Palm, and then I might go over a little bit with Kylie's Almond, because this one's a little bit, I don't know, a little bit deeper. So we'll see. I'm gonna start with this one. Very pigmented, so you don't need to go crazy with this. This is a Real Techniques blush brush. So yeah, I called the cops unannounced, and it was when they had all the kids up there, and then finally they got kind of caught out there because they didn't know the cops were coming, and they didn't have a chance to hide everyone, because like I said before, I know it sounds crazy, but they had 2 apartments that they were using basically. Like, they had the apartment downstairs, and then they had the apartment from upstairs. So every time that the super would go up there or the landlord would go up there, they would hide everyone in the apartment downstairs. Oh my god, so pigmented. So that when somebody went up there, it would look like I was crazy, because it was literally the old lady by herself. And she would just be sitting there watching TV and being like, I don't know why they're complaining. Yeah, you know why I'm complaining? Because 2 minutes ago, all your grandkids were up there screaming and crying and running and yelling. So this time, finally, the cops show up, and everyone's in there, and the cops hear them. Mira, diablo, coño! Ah! All the noise, the cops hear all the kids, everything. Like, they basically got caught red-handed finally, because they didn't know that I was calling the cops. So, oh my god, here we go, another screaming child. So finally, after that situation happened, the landlord got involved, and that's when he was like, okay, you know what, the cops keep getting called here, like, obviously there's a situation, and you know, he doesn't want to have to deal with that drama, because if someone gets taken to court, or if he gets accused of, you know, he just didn't want it anymore. He's like, okay, the super's complaining because he has to be called every 2 minutes, because I kept going to the super, and I kept saying, you need to go talk to them, because the cops kept like, after the cops came a couple times, the cops told me I couldn't go up there anymore, that I couldn't bang on the ceiling. Legally, you're not allowed to confront your neighbors, you're not allowed to bang on the ceiling, like all of that stuff legally you're not allowed to do here in New York. So at that point, I'm like, oh, okay, I can't do that anymore. Cool, I'm gonna be complaining to the super every single day, because I'm not gonna be the only one who's miserable. I'm gonna go to the super all the time. I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna make a big deal out of every single time that they piss me off. Every single time I have a problem, every single time I'm annoyed, you're gonna be annoyed, because nobody's helping me, so now you're gonna be annoyed. So at this point, the super is now like, okay, she's on my back, she won't leave me alone. Like, this is crazy. And this is before, I guess, before the cop showed up the last time. Like I said, it's kind of vague in my memory, but I'm just kind of throwing the pieces together for you guys. So yeah, the super finally I guess complained enough to the landlord that the landlord went to them. And my husband actually heard, he actually caught the conversation happening with the landlord telling the woman upstairs, like, the cops keep coming, you guys cannot make this much noise. If the cops are coming here and they caught you with all the noise and everything, you cannot keep doing this. Like, you're disrupting everyone, people are complaining, like, you can't make that much noise anymore. So finally he said something to them. Ooh, she's looking flawless. So then I'm gonna go in with this cheek palette to do my cheeks. This is the Natasha Denona Love Glow cheek palette. I heard a lot of people talking about this. Look at the packaging, how pretty with the glitter. Oh, I didn't even know I had that. That is so pretty. I just swatched it in Sephora and I really liked it. I'm a big cream blush girl, and I love that this actually has a little clear cover for the cream blushes, because whew, I hate when powders get into cream products. Oh my god, look at the highlighter and this blush here. It's like a crushed pearl kind of situation. Oh my god, so pretty. I think I'm just gonna go in with the super cream base, but I kind of want to take like a video of it before I ruin it. I'm gonna use my favorite blush, cream blush brush. This is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. I love this. So I'm just gonna go in there and kind of just press into the product until I feel like I get a good amount. Oh yes, oh yes. So yeah, so hey, no, stop it. So the way that this all ended, like I said, was finally the cops caught them all making the noise. The landlord, you know, told them, you guys can't make all this noise, like, you need to stop, whatever. And the apartment underneath me actually ended up becoming available. I think the peachy color. And then we're gonna do a little highlighter. I'm gonna take the highlighter from the palette with my little Morphe highlighter brush. I feel like it's not really, I have to like rub it in there a little bit. I'm gonna go in with a little face spray. This went in with the Crystal Powder Hydro Mist from Pacifica Beauty. So the apartment underneath mine became available, and the super was like, hey, do you want it? Because, you know, I know you're tired of the noise. I'm using the Natasha Denona highlighter with my finger. It's like, I know you're tired of the noise. So, you know, do you want to move to the apartment underneath yours? So I was like, oh my god, yes, let me go look. But when I went down there, I didn't like it because that apartment had a lot of walls in random places, so it would have thrown off my whole vibe. It was just not cute. I don't know why somebody who lived down there, they made a bunch of walls, like they were trying to make it into like a lot of rooms, and it was just so claustrophobic. I was like, I can't live here. And it looked really bad. Like, the people who had lived there before the people who lived there that moved out, they were really messy and gross, and that apartment was left ravaged. So I was just like, no, I can't live here, because I didn't want to move into an apartment I didn't really like, and then somebody moved above me and they were still loud anyway. I was like, I need to have at least one win, you know. And I like my apartment. I like the way it's set up. It's decent. I've done a lot of upgrades to it, so I wasn't ready to leave it. So then he offered it to the people that lived above me, the noisy neighbors that I had the problem with, and they took it. So that really worked out, because I didn't have to deal with them anymore. They were gonna live underneath me now. And I was like, you know what, that's even better, because now they're gonna be the ones that have to listen to me making noise instead of me listening to them making noise. And I'm not a loud person, and I wasn't planning on retaliating with a bunch of noise. So I was like, this is a way better situation now, for them to live underneath us. And it's been like that now since, I don't even remember, I want to say 2018. It's been like that for a while now, and it has been so much better. Sometimes, like once in a while, we do still hear them because the kids will be there, and you can still hear like the banging kind of, I guess, radiating from downstairs to up here. But it's not very often anymore. And I don't know if maybe they've turned a new page. They see us in the hallway now. The old lady, she says hi now. And like the other day we actually talked for the first time since all of this happened, and she was like, you know, God bless you guys and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, okay, maybe you had a change of heart, maybe God touched you, or maybe, you know, maybe she's just past it. I don't know. I definitely am so glad that, you know, that it worked out where she ended up moving to the apartment underneath us. And, you know, I will say, like, I do kind of take karmic pleasure in being loud sometimes myself, and I don't feel bad about it, because I'm like, you know what, they'll never complain because they know they deserve it. They've never complained about me being loud. So you know, it's kind of nice that now I get to be the one above them. But like I said, I'm not a loud person, and they've always known that I was a good person, and I think that's why they took advantage, because had I been like the ghetto kind of crazy girl that would have fought them and would have, you know, retaliated, I don't think they would have been like that with me to begin with. Because people who are bullies, they usually choose people they think they can bully. You get what I'm saying? So I'm just happy that it worked out, that now, you know, they live under us and we don't have to deal with them above us. We did end up getting a neighbor after, who's the one that we have now, who was loud, and I did complain. I went up there a few times, and she actually was really nice and apologetic, and now it's barely any noise, you know, because everybody has to understand, like, we're sharing this space, you know, everybody has to be considerate of each other, and nobody can be quiet 24/7, but nobody should be loud 24/7. Like, you have to be respectful of everyone's ability to have a peaceful life. Everyone deserves peace, everyone deserves tranquility in their home. So, you know, everybody just has to work together and be understanding and be open to collaborating and being nice to each other. You know, that's what it all comes down to. But if somebody's gonna be loud 24/7 and they're not gonna be respectful, then yes, I'm gonna say something. Thank you so much. All right, so let's finish off with lips. I'll end with the KKW Beauty Nude 2 lip liner first, and with the Kylie Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Penelope. I picked up this lipstick from Too Faced when I was at Sephora yesterday. It's the color Doll Face. You know what's missing? Mascara on the lower lash line. I was like, why do I look so weird? I'm using the Bad Girl Lash from Benefit. I'm really into Benefit mascaras right now. They sent me a package with, I think it was with Ipsy, and it had like the Bad Girl Lash, the Roller Lash, and I'm really into it. There we go. Now I don't look so crazy. So, final thoughts, guys. Looks good from far, but up close I can see a lot of dryness, and particularly around my mouth, I feel like I see a lot of dryness. And I didn't put any powder in this area, like my mouth and chin. I didn't put powder there. So also around my eyes, I think maybe it was just, I don't know, it could be like, you know, just a new combination of the new foundation with the powder. Maybe it was just too much. So yeah, I would just probably try this foundation again, maybe with less powder. We'll see. As far as the coverage, it wasn't my favorite. I don't feel like it's like full coverage. It looked nice though. I think for an everyday, I would definitely wear it for every day. As far as the eyeshadow palette, really, really nice, super blendable, super pigmented. Again, I didn't use these red shades. I'm gonna swatch them actually, because I didn't use these 3. That is so pretty. Really, really pigmented. Really pigmented. A nice palette if you want to make really fun, colorful looks. I feel like if you're not a colorful person, but you want to have like one nice staple palette, this is a good option. I love the big mirror, the packaging, and again, you can use it on your face and body. Natasha Denona palette, so far I really like it. The highlighter is iffy for me. I feel like it's swatched really nicely, especially like in the store, but now at home I feel like it's not doing it for me. Also, the color is darker than I thought it was. It's definitely more of a medium tone, like slightly rose gold. I thought it was more of a gold shimmery blushes. So I think playing with this a little bit more, I'll figure out if I am in love with it, but I definitely like it. Oh my gosh, guys, I had bought this to use and I totally forgot to use it. This is the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks. I bought it to use it and I literally totally forgot. I wonder if I can get away with putting it on top of my makeup right now. Yep, I did it. I did a whole line on my face. This product actually blends really nicely on top of powder. Look at that. Yes. Okay, give it to me, bitch. I know this video was really long because it's hard for me to do my makeup and talk at the same time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's something different for me. And I definitely want to try to do more story time while I do my makeup type videos. Let me know if you guys want to see them. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to try to think of stories. Also, leave ideas or things you want me to talk about. So like, leave me like questions you want advice on, or things that you just want to know my opinion about, because sometimes I just need something to like bounce off of so that I have a direction to go in. I'm not always the best at just coming up with my own topics, and I also don't really like sharing too much of my personal life, so it's hard for me to come up with stories. But I do want to sit down and talk with you guys more, so definitely leave your thoughts below. Like I said, things you want me to talk about, things you want my opinion on, things you want advice on. I'm here for you guys. So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, stay glam. Also, check out my website down below. And also, if you want a video shout out for me for your birthday, for anniversary, for your wedding, whatever, there's this app called Cameo where you can book me for a personalized video for you or anyone you love or anything like that. If you want to say happy birthday to someone, and you want me to do the video, you can book me down below through Cameo. So that link will be down below as well. I have merch, I have all that kind of stuff, and I will leave all that info in the description box. So please check it out. I love you guys, and you know, like this video. I think it does something. I think it helps something. I don't know, maybe I think I heard it does something. It'd be nice if you can hit that like button. All right guys, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.